Corey, there was a play halfway through the second half where you were guarding someone and ended up with a shot clock violation. How much do you pride yourself on that other end of the floor? I know that's something that Coach Skin harps on, but how important is it for you?
Yeah, it's something that I love to do a lot and I harp on a lot, just loving defense, but it's what Coach Skin teaches us. All week in practice, our defense is what led us to win this game. We just been connected all week, just in practice, going over defense every single day, just doing all the little details, being disciplined in our spot. So that's why I take a lot of pride in that.
And in addition to a team high, you also had a good assist stat as well. I think it was 5 assists, if I'm not mistaken. What's it like just knowing that you're on a heater, but also knowing that you're trying to get your teammates involved?
Yeah, that has nothing to do with me. Me making shots is nothing, but me being able to create and get my teammates open is the best thing possible. Just allowing them guys to trust in me to be able to take shots. Coach allowing me to run the offense and make plays is what allows me to have numbers like that. So knowing that I have teammates I can kick the ball out to and make shots and just do things just like me, because like today, it was my night, but it could be anybody's night. So we're a great team.
And final question, how do you feel about your first game here at Eagle Bank?
Wow, it's amazing. The atmosphere was amazing. The stands is something that I've never been used to before, so I just can't wait to keep playing here.
This is for Riley. How does it feel to be a Patriot, and how was your first game here?
Yeah, no, it feels amazing.
Sorry.
Yeah. It feels amazing. Like Corey said, the atmosphere was great, like having all the fans here. And obviously our team, it's full of great guys. It's just fun to play with them and be able to get our first win today.
He's now 1-1 against George Mason. 0-1 with Sanford. Now he's 1-1 with
Yes, Coach. I love that. And a follow-up, how were you able to pick your spots in the paint and the post? And when did you know to be aggressive, when to dish it out to your teammates?
Yeah, it goes a lot with kind of what the coaches are telling us to do. I kind of trust in what they're saying, and they kind of will, like we have an offense, and I just kind of get to the spots they tell me to, and I trust that my teammates will find me. And then if I'm open, I'll take my shot. If not, I'll find the open teammate. So,
thank you.
Yeah.
First question is for Corey. I know this is your first game playing here, and taking that, you can kind of take whatever role that's given to you. You seem like it's pretty adaptable. What are some of the roles that you're trying to take in from this game, how well you played off the bench, into going playing against Winthrop, a team that you're pretty familiar with?
Leader, most definitely a leader. Our captain went down tonight, Braden O'Connor. So knowing a guy like that being down, who's the face of this team, the captain of this team, seeing that, I know I have to step up in a big way. I know I'm one of the more vocal guys on the team, so being able to step up and lead my team in a way that Braden would do, I know that one guy being down like that, I now have to step into his role as well. So it's just really the next man up and knowing that I can keep leading my team.
Good to hear. And then, Riley, I know this is not your first stint going against Wofford. Was there any insight that you helped to give, being one of the new guys transferring in, that you helped with trying to tell everybody what to expect with this Wofford team?
Yeah, obviously we came in and we just knew they were going to be super physical, and then the main thing they were going to do is try to shoot threes. And we were talking about it after the game. I think they shot 30 threes, 29 threes, and they only made 6. So that was kind of the game plan we had going into the game, be able to guard the 3, and we got it done. So.
Anything else for the student athletes? Okay, you guys are good.
Good job, boys.
Thank you.
Questions for Coach? Good.
I can go. Hey, Coach. Congrats on the first win for the season, start for Team 60. I know the game didn't start out as planned. It got a little foul trouble, a little sluggish. Can you just give us a little insight on what you had to tell the guys to try to get them back into the mode that you wanted it?
I mean, I'm not an expert. It's not that complicated. This is a new group. We've got 11 new guys playing in a brand new arena, and a lot of these guys have come from different places where they had to learn a bunch of different things. We've tried to help them along the way for the last 6 minutes since they've stepped on campus. but nothing can compare to a real game atmosphere. And so those first couple minutes, I expected that. Same for Wofford. It's not going to be a pretty game. I mean, again, this is the landscape we're living in. They've got a brand new team. They've got a brand new coach. You got to grease it a little bit. First couple possessions, I thought offensively, the ball was sticking. They're a very heavy gap team, and we were just trying to drive those gaps. It wasn't there. I thought defensively we were us, though. We showed teeth defensively. I believe in the first 8 minutes or so, they had like 6 or 7 points. And so for me, I was happy with that. Ball just needed to move a little bit more from an offensive standpoint. I think in the second half, we got that message. In the first half, we only had 3 assists and 9 turnovers. In the second half, we had 9 assists and 4 turnovers, and that was the game plan. And so, again, games are going to be like this, but we went on the run when we needed to and took care of business.
Now, I know last time I spoke with you at the exhibition game, you said this team is a little more athletic and more agile in comparison to last year's team. I will say this, I do agree with that after watching this. Do you see any more of a slight difference or like any more than last year's team or even from this previous exhibition game that like they're getting just better and better with the rotations or even athleticism?
Yeah, I think outside of maybe Jalen Haynes and Gio, those were 2 really, really big physical guys. But everywhere else, I think we have more length with this team. You look at the starting 5, Braden is 6'4", Masai 6'6", Jahari 6'4", Dola's 6'8", 6'9" out there, and Big Riley 6'9", and then you come off the bench with Malik, who's 6'5", Devin Booker, the freshman, Emmanuel Conga. So I do think, with the exception of the girth that we had at the 5, we do have a little bit more athleticism and length. It showed in spurts, but again, all those different combinations are going to be very, very hard to utilize. I thought tonight we had a chance to play around with it a little bit just because we did have a little bit of a lead. But there's no real separation when it comes to my rotation right now. We're still trying to figure that out. Credit to Gold. Our Gold team was phenomenal, and it kind of worried me this week just because every segment we had, Gold won. But it's no surprise that Gold team with Emmanuel Conga, with Corey going out there, those guys led us tonight. I say to these guys all the time, be careful what you ask for because when you get your opportunity, what are you going to do with it? And I thought Gold was phenomenal tonight, especially Corey. My hat goes off to him because, he's been really, really good. And to be a guy that is coming from a place where you're playing 32 minutes and you're leading your team in every statistical category, but then you're asked to now come off the bench. That resilience is a big reason why we won tonight. So I'm happy and proud of him.
Coach, I see here it's +9 in 11 minutes for Emmanuel Conga. I'm sure we'll see a lot more of him this season. How do you feel about his first performance?
I love Emmanuel Conga, man. Again, I don't want to talk about guys from last year because it's about this team. But when you lose guys, all conference guys, you worry sometimes, right? But the one thing I haven't worried about is our 5 position. We've got a guy like Riley who's going to start and play some heavy minutes. We've got Nick Ellington who's coming from the MVC, and he's almost a 1,000-point scorer, so he's shown that he can do that at a high level. And then you got a freshman like Emmanuel Conga who has to play. His athleticism, his rim running, some of the things that he's able to do for us without scoring the basketball. I'm not worried about our 5 position because we're going to have to figure it out. But, again, he came in there, gave us energy. In this league, he's going to have to play some minutes, and the more we can get him to just, talk a little bit more and kind of get out of his shell, the better he's going to be. He's got a bright future.
Would you say that it's been a sort of normal start for him? Yeah, I know he's a freshman coming in, but when it comes to just, getting up to speed with the college game and everything, where do you see him?
I mean, he's ahead of schedule. Again, very seldom do you see your third big playing 11 minutes. I don't consider him a third big. I think he's a guy that can get some rotational minutes, and we're going to have to be creative with those 3 guys. But I mean, playing almost 12 minutes in your first game as a freshman, especially at the 5 position, which is a complicated thing with a defensive-minded team. He's learning. He's been phenomenal. I'm happy for him. He's a shy guy. I got to get him to just come out of his shell a little bit, but he was great in the minutes that he was out there on that floor.
And final thing from me, 30 bench points of a total of 70. How do you feel about that depth?
We're going to need it. We're going to need it. Again, there's going to have to do things by committee. I think defensively we'll be okay. Offensively, actually, this group is actually easier to coach offensively, believe it or not. We've just got to just continue to just kind of get better. Our spacing wasn't there, I didn't think. And I thought credit to Wofford. I mean, I knew they were going to be physical. That's just kind of who they are. And they were physical. I mean, they got on the glass early, kind of dictated a couple. I mean, they started out fouling. I mean, it was like 5 or 6 fouls in the first, 6 minutes or so, and that really set the tone for the game. But, I think we're right where we need to be.
Anything else for Tony?
Tony, you had Jahari and T. Ball. How did you?
And Maryland.
Well, yes, and it's been over a year since he's played.
Yeah.
How did you see him tonight, first game action? Did you feel like he's got the burst that he used to have, or is he still getting there?
Jahari, I love Jahari Long. I've got a unique relationship with him. I've known him for a decade, which is crazy. He's trusted me 3 different times at 3 different places. Unfortunately, he was, obviously had his injury at Maryland, and just understanding who he is, he's gonna continue to get better. And what you're seeing right now, I think, is probably a small dose of who I think Jahari Long can be. He's used to kind of playing, Robin. He's the backup of the best point guard at both institutions, Jameer Young and Kadari Richmond, 2 all-conference guys, 2 guys playing in the NBA. Now we're going to ask Jahari Long to step into a position where he's not anybody's backup. He's got to be able to lead the way with what he can do. He's a big guard. He's unselfish. He can shoot it. I think once he gets his legs back underneath him, he's really good defensively. He's guarded some of the best players in some of the better leagues. And so, I was happy with his performance tonight. That's a guy that hasn't played in 19, 20 months. Right. That's his first time. And so he's going to continue to get better. I need him with his voice because he's a very soft guy, doesn't talk much off the court. But again, with the responsibility that he's going to have to be better. But he was solid tonight.
Got that last question for you, Coach. Can you give us any update on Braden?
Yeah, so Braden kind of went down on his foot. Honestly, I'm not exactly sure. We're going to have to get it evaluated. Looks like some sort of ankle sprain. But he went down. But I saw him walking, and so we're just going to have to just check that out tomorrow.